Yeah, that was good. Pick up, doing the pickup. You're starting to feel his upbeats. That's good. Back into the lick.
Yeah, that's usually what I like to do. This is just.
Now you just get cooking. So you can keep it steady here. And swing it a little bit. Dot, 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 dot.
Yeah, like this.
Okay, here's the way. You're just doing the downbeat every other time. Check this out. Watch me. Now listen.
Oh, you know it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Now listen to him now. Bingo. Yeah. And then be scared. He'll cue you.
Yeah.
Let me do that one again.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going.
Okay.
Watch me. Big note. Yeah. Now you're into the groove. Now, you can throw that triplet. Good. So that the bass line is always pushing on this song.
Oh, is that?
Pretty much most of the time. The second note's the same. So this will be your facing right here. He's all over the place. He needs that drum machine to hold. And here, because of that, is he going to play piano? Is he going to play piano?
Yeah.
that long triplet on there. Just nail the downbeat at the end of it. You'll get lost. You won't be able to follow it. Maybe you'll get lucky. Just give them that, if you're going to do a triplet fill, just make sure you land on the downbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's just going to go all over here. He's just all over. Yeah, the syncopation. Yeah. Be light with it. Not too hard. Pretend you play with brushes. Good. Right.
Yeah, I did much better when I wasn't thinking about it.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
you're good either way.
Yeah, I will.
It's just,
Because when you play, you just go for it.
yeah.
Yeah.
These are cool things that are really adds a lot of great spice from the drum.
Good.
Because,
I'm so glad. I'm stoked, totally stoked.
the little upbeat on that particular drum. Man, I thought I saw so many times.
Is that right? Okay.
If you ever get a chance, listen to Lambert, Hendricks, and Ross version on YouTube because
Alright.
it's so good.
Lambert?
Lambert, Hendricks, and Ross.
All right.
Yeah, the two guys and a girl.
Wow.
White guy, black guy, and white woman. And they were the greatest jazz trio vocalists in the 50s.
Wow.
And that song that Joni Mitchell did, My Endless Told Me, that was theirs. So, but this one, okay, now what you're doing here is you're hitting a high note with your same hand, you're hitting the downbeat, the low
Yeah,
note.
I always do
You want
that.
to you want to
Okay.
try
Okay.
to get it so it's not so you're not late.
Okay.
Because when you do with both hands, it has that
Yeah.
the syncopated physical,
Yeah.
it works.
Okay.
That was me translating it from the kit. Like, okay, I can't do that on the same hand. In order to get that feel, very subtle microsecond feel, you got to use both hands.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see.
Now,
Yeah.
now there's a little pickup note before.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah. Good.
I see. It's a shoulder.
Yeah. It's actually a boxing combination. Cuban. Miami had great boxers, Cuban boxers.
Yeah.
And Ali, he would train them.
Wow.
And so all that timing, it translated over the drums. The Cuban drumming and boxing is like two of the major sports.
My dad was a doctor.
Oh, okay. In the Army?
And
In
a
the
lawyer.
military?
Well, he was a judge in the Army and the Navy.
Wow, great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now go straight into the groove. So you feel the difference. When he goes to the lick, there's a signature lick of the song. You're going to create a little more of a stop note. accent the upbeats in the triplet. Now that's when it gets really pretty slick.
No.
See, I'm playing a triplet, but I'm accenting the upbeats.
You're
So again, it's your left hand.
yeah.
Swings, adds a lot. So that's a fill, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to play the lot.
No.
But when you throw it in, it adds a lot. And you want to come out towards the edge a little more when you play that. It's a little brighter. So that distinguishes your high note from your deep note, which is important when you're playing jazz on the djembe. It gives you more of a drum set sound, your bass drum, and snare. You go in between, that's not, that's sort of tom-tom. And sometimes. And then when you do the big fill at the end, sexy splashes, you'll be on the cymbals in the kit.
Okay.
And that's your signature. I mean, if you throw that stuff in, that's you.
Yeah. Yeah, I usually do in the middle of this. I usually go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. So you can do that kind of triplet in a 4 song.
Mm-hmm. In a 4-beat song?
In a 4-beat song.
2,
Okay.
3, 4.
1.
But you can see this is why I teach in 4s and 3s, because this is a combination of both.
Yeah.
You're playing the swing, which is a 3,
yeah.
The triplet, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1,
Yeah.
2, 3. But you're counting 1, 2, 3,
Yeah,
4.
it's like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3,
But that's a triplet. So okay, now this is a good rhythm theory lesson right here.
Okay.
Because you're going triplet, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay. Now, if you were not doing a triplet, the swing. We're still in 4. We're still in.
Okay.
But now what we've done is we're what I call straight up 4. 1D and a 2D and a 3D and a 4D and 1D and a 2D. And a lot of this other stuff like Have Mercy, 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 this is a straight up 4. It's gospel. Have mercy on me. So it's now you can play the triplet in this. Triplet. So you see, good.
Oh, usually I do that.
Yeah, you do that. So, but I'm making your intellect. I'm making your intellect aware of what you're already capable of doing.
Thank you.
So the point here is that those are distinctions in a 4-beat pattern. Those are 2 different styles when you're playing in a 4-beat song. You're playing what I call straight up 4, which is, if you were to write it down in music notation, you would have 16th notes, 1 and 2 and or 8th notes.
I'll have to learn how to do that.
1D and a 2D and a 3D and a 4D and a 1D and a 2D and a 3D and a 4D. So that's where it's all 16th notes. That 4/4 time.
Okay.
4 beats to the measure. Every quarter note gets a beat. So a quarter note breaks down into 4 16th notes. It's just math.
Okay.
And you count it 1D and a 2D and a 3D and a 4D. Okay, so that genre of the straight up 4,
Okay.
16th notes. Rock and roll, gospel, country, pretty much pop, because it doesn't have quite the swing. And it was invented, kind of perfected, by the early rockers, like Chuck than those guys
Is that right?
because the swing was too sophisticated for the white kids to dance to.
Uh-huh.
So now go back to the 4, 2, 3, 1. Okay. Now the 4 that straight up 16th note pattern became Maybelline. See, he switches. He goes back and forth. Yeah, but that's a swing too. The drummer and Little Richard, they mix it up. They go back and forth between. Yeah. So, but yeah, because the 6, when you the triplet, that's the blues. Yeah, that's the blues. That's the African roll. That's where it came into New Orleans. And that triplet, it gives it a swing. It's a different kind of swing, different kind of dance.
So that's what I do sometimes in the drum circles when the people are doing the 4 and I just
right.
I know sometimes I hang it for a long time.
Yeah, because the Afro people don't do that,
Yeah.
but so when it starts to swing, when they want you to play a swing rhythm,
Yeah.
it's based off that triplet.
Okay.
So Monin, that's Monin. That's the swing. It's got the triplet feel underneath. But Mercy Mercy really doesn't. That's got this straight up and down 16th, but they're both in 4.
Okay.
So you see why it's confusing. People say, how should I count this? I don't count.
2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Now do this way. So this is a swing. So then, okay, so those are the 2 feelings. The swing and 4. The swing, which is based on the triplet, and the straight up and down 16th notes, which is your more pop and also gospel.
Based on. Okay.
Yeah. So you got those 2 structures.
Okay. Cool.
And pretty much everything's going to either fit one or the other.
Okay.
But as a drummer, you can go back and forth with your fills. If you're playing a straight up 16/4, instinctively you can get the triplet in there.
Triple. Yeah, I just do it
You can get it in
automatically.
there.
Yeah.
And the other way too, but it's a little trickier. When you're in the swing, like it's much more awkward.
Okay.
And that's how reggae was invented.
Yeah.
Because they go. That's a straight up and down 16th note fill, but it's in a triplet. It's in the swing format, which is reggae. Reggae swing, actually.
Okay.
So what you're playing here for Mulligan, it's actually a reggae groove.
I'm trying to switch my left hand
Right.
from my right hand.
Good.
Have it.
Mhm.
So my mind.
Yeah, right. You're
Busy
jumping back and
still.
forth
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
hemispheres.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's good.
those are those 2 genres,
Cool.
rhythmic genres.
All right.
And if you play along with stuff, you'll instinctively be able to understand how that
Yeah.
works. What you've got is it's a palette of colors.
Yeah.
And you're gonna use them sparingly, And if the players are good, they'll appreciate that.
Yeah.
Just the little subtle colorings.
Less is more.
Well,
Or.
I don't like to say less is more because the drummer has to have authority.
Yeah.
They can't be passive.
Yeah.
They've got to really jump into the fray. What I'm saying is like they'll appreciate it when you give it that little extra color. It's
yeah.
like the little swing there and all that.
Okay.
Because so the swing where you. So And that even goes to like rockabilly.
Yeah.
Rockabilly swing too.
Let me see what this. Okay. She says.
I'm getting my donut Jones here.
Get your donut Jones, Betty. Totally. Let's see. Okay. Because St. Louis Blues, what they did in what happened in rehearsal, I have no idea what I did. They really, really loved it. And the other one was Wade in the Water by Ramsey Lewis.
Okay, well, Wade in the Water is like Mercy Mercy.
Okay.
In the sense that it's a straight 4, meaning that up and down 16th notes.
Yeah, I'm just going to train my left hand. I don't know why I started using my right hand for.
Are you right-handed or what?
I'm right now. I used to be ambidextrous until my 4th grade teacher corrected me. But anyway, so Wade in the Water, straight up 4. St. Louis Blues is.
We got. We did St. Louis Blues yesterday.
We did. But how would you characterize it?
I'm trying to. Well, I don't know.
Okay.
I just don't get your seat.
Oh. Cool. Oh, cool.
Okay, so we want St. Louis Blues.
I mean, they said, fantastic. The guy jumped up and grabbed me and said, yay! So I have no idea what I did. But just so I can get it in my intellectual wheelhouse.
Well, let's go over to.
So I'm practicing my right hand. So do you usually switch hands?
Oh, I
from bass
change
to tone. I mean, because I.
Sports. I don't have much volume on this.
That's okay.
Okay. So that's an up-tempo swing, right? It's based on the triplet. That's it.
That's what I'm now using my left hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll play that
Okay, so both of these songs that they thought I did what they wanted me to
You
do.
got
One
it,
was an
Chris.
up-tempo swing, one was a straight-up four, so that's encouraging. Okay.
Okay, so we'll do a little bit of St. Louis blues here.
Okay.
Da-da-da-da. I'm hitting notes on the melody. Like watch this.
Okay.
Da, 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 da. So what you're doing, this is a drummer's job, is to support the melody by hitting rhythmic accents that are in the melody.
Yeah.
So what happens is when you've got an instrumentalist like this, you're going to get a sense of where he hits that syncopated note in the melody.
Yeah.
And once you read it, you'll get, once he does it, you got it every time.
Yeah.
Because he'll probably be consistent with it.
Yeah, I actually fall into that sometimes.
Yeah, because you got good instincts as a drummer. Yeah. So it's like, again, that comes from the technique of waking up your left hand.
Yeah.
Da 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 da. Da da da. So what happens is the melody comes along pretty quickly, very fast. So you can't plan ahead.
No, you said it just
So-
happens. Yeah.
You got to be able to be free enough
Yeah.
to hit the accent on your right hand or your left hand,
Uh-huh.
depending on where you are
Yeah.
in what you're playing.
Okay.
So that's why the martial arts love this way of teaching the drums, because your split second timing is critical.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to hit that accent,
Yeah.
I got to hit it with my right hand. I got to hit it with my left hand. And so it's like you got to be flexible that way.
Yeah.
You're ambidextrous like that.
Yeah.
So that's why a drummer is ambidextrous, because they got to go for those fills and hit the punch note in the melody.
Mm-hmm.
The upbeat, the coolness.
Yeah.
And when a drummer does that, everybody loves it.
Yeah.
They don't even know what's going on, but they love it. It just sounds really tight
Okay.
because you're right on the melody.
Yeah, that's what, sometimes I'll do that with lyrics too. You'll hear somebody sing a thing and I'll find myself,
Exactly.
and it's kind of like you're following the
Yeah,
words,
yeah, exactly.
and then you get back into
Yeah.
the thing.
It adds a lot of authority,
Yeah, okay,
and it creates the illusion of many rehearsals.
okay. I'm gonna write that down, I'm sorry, buddy, you had a couple of really good ones. Yeah, you see, because I know what I'm gonna do when I go there.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go there
And
with
play.
whatever's here and play and
Mhm.
see what happens.
And you've got enough, already.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I'll tell
you
you,
can trust that.
beyond this, this is an excuse for me to learn and develop
Right,
more as a
right.
reference frame, and
The
what I'm getting here is beyond my interest in the concert.
Right.
I'm just like,
This is you as a drummer.
yeah, I'm like so excited.
So this will be other stuff down
Yeah.
the road.
Yeah.
You play with more
yeah.
people, and
Totally.
they'll go, wow, you
Yeah.
knew how to do that.
Yeah,
Cool.
and playing with Max. I mean, Tony Saunders, I don't know if you've heard of him, he's a bass player. He has a CD out that's in the instrumental jazz rating. I think it's like close to #1 or something.
Cool.
His dad was Merle Saunders.
Yeah, I was going to say, was he Merle's?
Yeah, he was Merle's son. Anyway, he and Max were been buddies since
That's cool.
he was a kid. But when we went up there and played with him, I
that must
just
have
play
been
along
great.
with Max. Oh, he was awesome. But he told Max, he said, because Max was going to do a set, he was going to do a set. And he said, I can have some of my guys play with you, but only on these tunes because you wander so much and they won't be able to get it. So playing with, Max just has his own style and he writes the the lyrics and everything. He's got beautiful cosmic poetry that's
Yeah.
just beyond the beyond. And playing with him, when I first started playing with him, it was like, holy shit, he's changing it up constantly. But part of me really likes that,
Yeah.
being able to follow
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
So what I'd like to do next is, hone that.
The ability to change up.
Because he's like, I mean, and Tony's got good musicians, and he said, I think they can do it with you on these two because they're more, set. But I mean, I really like how he explores. But he's in the moment. He's creating
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
as he goes.
Yeah, that's adventurous, and
He is
the
adventurous.
musicians that are capable of doing that, that's what I train people for, to be able to do that.
I know you do.
And I call that being the fearless improviser.
Yeah. All right.
The fearless improviser is my agenda, my goal for my
Yes.
students.
Yes. And it's the only thing that interests me. And the whole thing, otherwise, the stuff gets boring.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's how provincial musicians can really be.
Oh, yeah. And people start thinking about their laundry or their,
Right, if the tempo's not right. And
yeah, or,
I've had so many prissy little provincial musicians
uh-huh.
complain.
Well, Max is the fearless improviser.
Yeah,
I mean, that's why we never even rehearse,
right.
because it's ridiculous.
Because if you have your elements together for your personal playing,
Yeah.
and the other people do, you're going to find something that works.
Yeah. Well, for me, coming from not knowing what the heck I'm doing into applying what I did know to what he does, it's been an adventure.
Yeah.
It's been a real adventure, but I'd like to explore it more.
Of course. I mean, the more vocabulary, more colors on your palette, more people you play with. More people want to play with you.
You're lighting up what I know somewhere and what I do on occasion
Right.
that I like.
Plus, we're lighting it, we're putting a light on it so you can understand intellectually.
Here,
Yeah.
which is the only place that it's really missing.
Because that's what I do is like, there's instinctive drummers, and then there's drummers that learn by rote and practice. Actually, I'm a drummer that started learning by rote and practice and repetition, technique. And then, as a teenager, I had to discover the world of feel and groove improvisation, which was an entirely different mindset.
Wow.
And so I have that vocabulary coming from the rock, anchored intellectual to the spontaneous creative.
It helps it ground so you can go farther.
Yeah.
You gotta have both. That's what I was telling Max. I'm not afraid of losing my instinct now by understanding it.
Right.
And when I learned, well, Arthur was my first drummer. I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. He'd write X's and O's, and I would look at it and say, no, I just want to listen to it. And I could do it.
Yeah, that's good instincts because X's and O's are not music.
No. No.
And
And the Africans, they never wrote anything down. Ever.
it's
Yeah.
like, that was the problem with all this hand drumming business.
Yeah.
Everybody came up with their own notation, X's and O's.
Yeah.
It's like, no. The problem is that if you're going to do that, you have to learn that language first.
Yeah.
The notation language. And that's not drumming.
No. The only thing that made any sense to me sometimes to help me was Olatunji.
Right.
Go to Woonpa.
Yeah, and his vocalizations,
Yeah.
that was all oral tradition, and
Yeah.
that's closer to music.
Yeah.
Although it became written in stone too,
Yeah.
by all of his
So I
students.
forgot it. It's in this.
Right, you don't remember
No,
it,
you don't.
because it's not really drumming.
No.
What I'm showing you here, this is closer to what real drumming is.
Yeah.
Because you get these little licks and stuff, and it's like, and they come out spontaneously because you're not learning them here, you're learning them in the body.
Exactly. Well, that's what I'm trusting. When I go there Friday, I'm not going to think about a thing. I'm just going to do what I do and see what comes to
Right,
be
yeah.
different than what I would have done
Exactly.
otherwise.
And so there's no wrong notes
No.
when you come out from that point.
No. And you just, once you commit, you got to be willing to die.
That's right. You got to follow through. You can't second guess halfway through a fill and say, this is wrong. I'm making a mistake. You can't do that.
Hopefully you die without creating this.
So what if you do?
It's so what if you do? It doesn't matter.
So where are we now in your list?
Okay, we are on the list. We are, it's like everything's turning into spirals and circles.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure that, I guess, what did I write down for him? the one that we
No.
spent so much time on. Oh, no, that's the 6/8.
Well, let's go Happy Days. Just,
Okay, oh yeah, let's do Happy Days. Yeah, that would be great.
oh, happy day. Okay, so he's going to do pickup probably.
Yeah.
Oh, happy day. Now you get on him. It's probably dangerous to do a little pickup at the beginning of the song,
Yeah.
unless you really know the guy.
Yeah,
You know.
no, I'll start with
Oh,
the downbeat.
happy day. Oh, happy day. So this is a good example of a straight up and down 16. With my left hand.
Okay.
So those two notes on the left hand, that relates back to the paradiddle exercise that I showed you yesterday.
I'm gonna go do it. I didn't have a chance yesterday, but I'm gonna do it.
So what that does is it gives you flexibility in your one hand to do two notes on one hand. And the way they play together, those two notes on one hand, it's unique. It doesn't sound the same. If you do it with using two hands.
And the left hand's kind of an alien.
Yeah.
Seems like.
Hello, Susan. No, they're not here. Well, she's not here very much. Has she worked with you before? Sorry, what now? Yeah, okay. Well, I don't know. You can try Sunday afternoon. That's what she. So that's a straight up 16th note. Now you start to understand that distinction. The triplet probably would not fit in Oh Happy Days
Gotcha.
as a fill.
Okay.
I mean, it could, but it'd sort of be outside the box.
So that's.
Now, what's interesting about the fills in Oh Happy Days is they probably would not be 16th notes.
Oh, okay.
They would be 8th notes,
Okay.
which would be half as fast as 16th notes. Oh, happy days. So you would count the A's as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Yeah, see, I did the little quick note in there.
Yeah.
That's just little 16th note. Here. So it's something like this. What you're doing is you're implying the second upbeat note.
Yeah.
So you really don't do it much.
Okay.
Basically, what you're doing is just a single note.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, you give it a little ghost, that second note.
What I'm really curious about is that you seem to do like really little ghost notes with lots of things, which is different than boom.
Right, yeah.
You can actually hold that. It seemed to me, I'm wondering if you and do a little ghost note, which adds more energy.
Yeah, it does.
The
ghost
I
notes-
want to learn that.
Yeah, the ghost notes are the rest of the orchestra.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, that comes from 50 years of playing.
Yeah.
But it's also from listening.
Yeah.
From listening to so many great, and it's like having to translate that over. When I used to open for the Allman Brothers, they had two drummers and a percussionist. And then when I came on, I had to make it sound like two drummers and a percussionist, just by myself.
Yeah.
And it's like, and Dwayne and J-Mo, the guys in the Allmans, they loved it because I was covering it all.
Yeah.
I was doing R&B and the Afro-Cuban on top, and I did that with Timbuktu.
Djembe and this and this.
Yeah.
I did my see, the problem is I got to stick to this list so you can give me a sample of every little thing, but I'm getting so much more from you.
Yeah.
I practiced the tambourine and the this
Oh, good.
yesterday. It was awesome.
You got a tambourine?
I do. It's an old one that you actually gave me years ago.
Oh, good.
And it's just it doesn't have the thing in it, but it's.
I've got
it's,
another one if
It's,
you want that.
oh yeah, sure.
Whenever you're ready for that.
Yeah.
I mean, I leave it in my van because I use it when I
Okay.
go out, but I'm going to make some more.
Are you? Okay, I'll wait for you.
Okay, whenever you,
I'll
but
practice
you
with my
want to go
old
for it.
beat up one right now.
Okay. Does it have a head in it?
No, it's just open, but I stick my toe
You can
under
get
the,
it?
one of the
Get it to
symbols
work?
and, well, you know, so.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't have.
So, oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Yeah, so what we're talking about here is dynamics.
Yeah.
Find a way. Oh, happy day. So you do. Oh, happy day. When you go for that fill, you come at it with the same volume as you do the other stuff.
Okay.
Now, the reason you do that
Okay.
is because you were trained by an African.
Yeah, so I need to tap it instead
But
of
you got to lighten up on your fills.
lighten up on the fills.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I need to do. I'm gonna write that down in big letters.
Because the African teachers say everything full volume.
Yeah.
And jazz, no. Your fills have to be light.
Okay, light and thank you. Because I noticed that yesterday, and I noticed that from what we did, and I noticed that actually when I was playing with Don, and I didn't know why. I mean, I thought, you know, I
Yeah.
just kind of
Your
instantly.
fills were a bit much.
They
Yeah,
are.
right. So it's like, that's the real art subtlety here.
Bad.
Artistic subtlety is that when you can play the fills
Yeah.
at a lower volume, they're going to appreciate that a great deal because it's like you're adding color and you're not overbearing.
Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous.
So,
Boy, light bulb.
yeah, but
light
what you
bulb.
got to do though is
Okay.
physically overcome the training
Yeah.
that you got from the African teachers.
Practice.
It's releasing. So, so what happens here is your mind has this whole scenario that it goes through every time you do a film. I can see it. You telegraph it.
Yeah. Okay.
So you don't want to telegraph.
No.
Okay. What you want to do is you want to slide into that fill completely unexpectedly,
Oh.
and it's going to be light. It's going to be lightweight.
So
It's-
light energy as well as light tap.
Yeah.
'cause I know
Yeah.
I'm.
Hi. If you have a question, just let us know. We're just having a drum lesson. And you know, if there's any questions, just hit a drum or something. So what happens is, and that comes from the African drum teacher
Yeah.
because they don't use dynamics very
No.
much at all.
No, they just
Bang.
bang.
Yeah. So what you want to do is come at it, and this is like boxing too,
Okay.
because it's like what you're doing is you don't want to telegraph what's going to come,
Right.
and you've got to come at it quick. It's more like martial arts, where some of it is lighter weight. Like I work with Danny Masanto, you don't hit as hard as you need to.
Yeah.
I mean, as you can. You only hit as hard as you need to.
That's right. I know, and that's the secret of drumming anyway, isn't it?
Totally.
Because you get a better.
Totally, yeah.
You release more of the energy and light up those patterns.
So it's not just black and white. There's a lot of shades of gray in those little fills. So what you're going to do is develop this real light way to play a fill.
Oh, that's hard. That's still stuff.
Yeah.
Just get the feel.
Oh, happy day. Now what I'm doing here, wash your sins away. Now, oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. There, I'm accenting and doing an upbeat after as a call and response
Yeah.
to the lyric.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, and that's gospel.
Yeah.
So that's also a drummer's job, is call and response.
Yeah, and I find myself doing it sometimes.
Sure, of course you do. You got all those instincts.
But now I'm oh man, this is so much fun. I mean, good Lord,
Mhm.
it could be more fun.
It's true, it is fun. It's so much fun. That's why I came back to it. I said, you know what?
what is more fun? I don't know. I mean, now I'm doing my healing work to support my drumming experience, so I can do.
Good.
Isn't that odd? I mean, people are like so. I mean, and plus, what it does is they both support each other.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's not like I'm not
You're
connected.
you're
to my
generating
people.
energy.
But I've got an appetite for this. That's just
Good. No, I got it because you really, really, really developed a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take in whatever
Mhm.
I can.
So, like, I'm back to the happy days. Now do this, Phil. So what you're doing is, again, this is a trauma memory from your African master drum teacher, which is fast, hard, loud.
Yeah,
And that's not jazz.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
That's African.
yeah.
So it's like what you want to do. Just play with that. Okay. That's not it. Listen to that. Almost. Not quite though. Listen again. Yeah. So now that fill is deceptively simple.
Yeah.
But what it does is sets up the next verse.
So if I just loosen up more, relax, and lay back a little bit, it'll come.
It's not, no.
Okay.
You got to be on the money with this one.
Okay.
And it's like, but you got to make it sound like you're totally relaxed. But it's got to be in there. Yeah. Now, but see, now that all those notes, they're all the same volume.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not going for that.
Okay.
What we have to do is accent the first note and the last note.
Oh.
Yeah. So. Yeah, good. Better. Yeah, wide open. Yeah, so all the notes are heard. Now bring it softer. Yeah, good. Okay, now accent the first note. Accent the first note. Yeah. 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 The other one's softer. Yeah, very good. Yeah.
That feels good.
Okay, softer overall. Good. Uh-huh. See how the last note sets it up for the next verse?
Yeah, and the next one, it's like it's sort of the leader.
It pulls you in.
It pulls you in,
Yeah.
and the last one
Sets it up.
sets it up.
So it gives a little
So
extra
it gives a
kick.
little energy kick, and so the next one pulls it in, and that's why it's stronger.
Yeah, so the first note
Gotcha.
at the beginning of the fill,
Uh-huh.
that's your call and response.
Yeah.
That's a response to what just was sung or played.
This is so much better than what I've been doing. Yeah.
So that note, and then the little notes in between, those are important, but they've got to be down. They've got to be quiet.
People value the down. It's like dancing.
Yeah. You got to just
Yeah.
you slide those in there as just an undercurrent. But then the last note, that's got to come up again.
Yeah. I can see it. I can see the energy of it.
Yeah.
It lifts it up, and the other pulls it in,
Yeah.
and that's like bringing it through.
Yeah.
In rhythm, not just straight. And when you do healing work, there's current that is just completely doesn't have a design, but when you access it,
Then it has
then it
form.
lights up the lattice and the matrix.
You bring it
has
into
form.
form.
You bring it into form. Same exact stuff.
Yeah, it is. That's why this is life, energy.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
you
yeah.
drum like this, you're generating life force. You're pulling it into form,
Totally. Yeah, it's
and
like,
then in direct.
yeah. The people
But-
say when you, yeah.
But so this is the alchemy. This is the magic
Yeah.
form of it. This is just not drumming.
No. I'm not the alchemy.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't care about
Now this
the
is
other.
the higher wizardry.
Yes.
This is
Yes.
this is where the esoteric masters would recognize it. Go, oh, when I first came to Coconut Grove, a Cuban woman, card reader, you know, magic woman. She came to our Sunday afternoon matinees at the club, the Grove Pub, and she comes up to me. She says, "You play talking drums?" And I said, "Well, thank you for noticing." She said, "Well, not a lot of people notice that, you know." So she became my good friend because she was from Cuba. She knew all of that. She'd grown up with the talking drums in Cuba, the mystic drum, where you talk to the spirit. Because this, when you do that, then you talk to the spirits.
Totally. And that's, I mean.
So, okay, now what you got to do is like on the downbeat, okay? Now that's your main volume level.
Yeah.
Okay. Happy day. Oh, happy day. When Jesus walked, sin away. Oh, happy day. Now don't be shy about stopping.
I won't.
You know, like, you know, don't worry, I'm here. I'm going to come back to you and I'm giving you some, you know, this is color.
Yeah.
Oh, happy day. So when you're sure that you're on the money and you come back in with that fill, it's great. You know, it just, you know, if there's room, you know.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be doing stuff on the keyboard or whoever. But if you come in, and you see how amazingly, deceptively simple that fill, that little lick is. But in terms of dynamics, if you were to look at that on measuring dynamics, your downbeat pulse is going to be your main volume level. Oh, happy day. And then the fill, you can come in, sneak up, and then the last note is going to come up to that level. But the other notes are going to be way down. And so what you naturally do then is that last note, that's going to come up above your volume level of the main of the downbeat group.
Yeah. Okay.
It's going to come up a little bit. Okay, now do it 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Rush. Now gotta keep those notes soft. Now that was good. Now every once in a while you can put in that extra note. Bye. How's it going? We've been here 29 years. This is my girlfriend's store and mine. We've been partners for. And so it's her friends, you know, handmade work, handcrafted all over the world. And she's, of course, the Beauty Curtain Queen. We dress all the movies with the beauty curtains.
Oh, nice.
And then we do drumming meditation workshops in here 3 times a week.
They're fabulous.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Do you guys have like mullets here as well?
What?
Do you have the mullet beads, pair beads?
No, actually, we don't. You could probably find those down on Santa Monica Boulevard at the
Really?
Thunderbolt bookstore.
Yeah, well, I used to work at Object Art and Spirit all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I was just so curious. I love it.
Was it flyer for the workshops and the drumming? Yeah. And so she's got a lot of friends, and she supports women's co-ops all over the
Oh,
world.
nice.
So, because we used to travel a lot.
Okay.
So it's like she's got friends with women's co-ops in India,
yeah?
Africa. That's where the djembes come from
Oh,
from her friends in
great.
Florida.
I
And these are the
sing,
best
too.
ones.
We could like do like collaborate.
Sure.
Yeah. You
Right?
can sing it, you can play it.
There you go, now.
And then we do music lessons for the kids and all that too.
Oh, I love that. Can I see those rings over
Oh
there?
yeah, come on in. Those are fresh. They just came in.
Are they from where, India?
Peru.
Ooh, love it.
We're good. Okay, let me shut this down.
Fabulous, and tell me, when do I go to on YouTube?
Yeah.
Right?
No way. Mom,
Okay.
come see these.
You could just, you want to email it to me then?
Yeah, 'cause